Hey, thanks everyone. How y'all doing this evening? I think I'm delayed again. I don't understand why. Thanks for tuning in to TAN TV, the African American Network. We have a local feel, a global reach. This is Out of Bounds with T Rex. I'm going to turn it over to Henry for a minute till I fix my technicalities. Hank, is all yours. You got it, Henry?
Can't hear you.
Vonda, whoever got it, so take over.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was on
He's
mute. I
on
was
mute.
on
Can
mute. I
anybody?
got you. I got you, my God.
Oh
Sorry, I'm just
Lord, go
steaming
ahead.
away and I'm on mute.
All right, I'm
But
wondering why I'm freezing.
but you good, Terry.
I'm gonna
We
try
got
something
you.
else.
Hear you good. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But
Okay, all right, let's go then.
go ahead, my guy.
So,
Go
how's
ahead.
everybody doing? How's
Cocky and
everybody
Good.
doing?
positive, sir.
Yes. Blessed.
Vonda wanted to make sure she had on a purple skirt, a dress. I'm sorry, not a skirt, but she didn't show her legs, even though I was trying to peek, but she didn't show them. So, everybody, we're gonna talk about Black history. I'm gonna let the crew give their whatever they like to talk about. I'm gonna talk about current Black history and why do we need anything called Black history. So, with that, let's just go straight to Vonda and see what Vonda got to say about her, what she wants to talk about Black history. Go ahead, Vonda, give it to us.
Just following up from last week. I just want to say how I am proud to be African American. I'm proud to be um part of a culture that has contributed so much to our society, and I know we're gonna do greater things. And I do pray for the youth that are coming up, our for our future leaders, because I think that there's a lot to be lessons learned for them to be able to lead the way um, our past leaders have led. And so I just think that that's something we need to concentrate on, is preparing our youth for the future.
That makes sense. That's outstanding. That's what I will talk about, but it's a little bit on a different side. All right, Big Money, what do you got to talk about?
I'm gonna go with me. I'm gonna let the ladies do it first, man. I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna bring the ship in
Okay, well, I
last.
was trying to go woman, male, female, female. I mean,
Okay,
male,
okay.
whatever.
We
Go
can do
ahead,
that. We
Denise.
can do that.
Well, go
We'll
ahead,
do
then.
that. No, we'll do that. We'll do that. So what I wanted to do and what I wanted to talk about is Black history and make it a personal deal, because we as African Americans, everything should start at home, man, and it should start with us. We should teach not only Black history in our homes, but family history, bro. Because right now, when I came along, Big Mama and Grandpa, Granddad was the matriarchs of
Hmm.
the family, and they taught history, man. They taught us by not only by us observing them and trying to emulate them, because man, my granddad had a third grade education, dude, but never owned a pair of blue jeans. He was suited and booted every day, had probably 9 or 10 pairs of Stacey Adams that he wore every day, and he owned property with a third grade education, my man. A family store, and that's Black history itself, man. You know what I'm saying? Where you keep your money within the Black community and you grow from there. But it's got to start within home. In home, man. You got to teach love to your children. You got to teach your history to your children. You got to teach their families about your family history, man. And because if you don't know self, man, you don't know nothing, my guy. And we as Black people, we got to realize that that's what we are. You can take a Hispanic family and man, they can put 15 people in a house and they pool all their money together and man, live like kings or whatever, sending all their money back home until they get everything to what they wanted to do. You put two Black people in a house, man, and it's ugly. You see what I'm saying? But that's where I am, my guy. That's what my conversation will be about tonight. Is starting it from the home front. And also, I do want to tap in about your presidential candidate and the stupid remarks that he's making about lights being bright, and he's only seeing black people. Come on, man.
That's that movie, right? I see black
Yes, sir.
people.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll go back to that one in a minute because that was a good one. All right, Mister Denise, what you got?
Mm, I'm just ahead of. I've been enjoying some of the black things. This things that have been going on in Clarksville. Uh,
Hmm.
the different things, the activities, and we had the Austin P band, the Austin P choir at our church today. The black choir sung at our church today, this morning. There's another Black History thing going on Thursday. It's closing of Black History. The closing at the Wilma Rudolph Center, where they're going to have all different kind of activities and a big dinner with all the old fashioned types of food and things. That's Thursday night at 6:30. But I do with what Henry was saying about being in the home. Um, my father, he we owned a restaurant, and
Hmm.
it was a barbecue restaurant. It was smoke restaurant, barbecue, all kinds of barbecue. And from that going on, I see what he's talking about because my nephew now has taken that trade on from my father. He owns the a barbecue truck now, a food truck,
Hmm.
which was carried on from my father. And all the
Hmm.
sauces and stuff that are made are the recipes of my father's sauces and stuff. And he also bottles those sauces to sell off of the food truck. So I understand where he's saying where it starts at the family, starts in the home first because he has carried that trait on, to carry on my father's legacy. So I do believe that that is a good start, and if more people did that, I think that, like you said, it would be more financial benefit for families and things. But I'm just going to keep enjoying the. I have a few things here, but I'll wait on that. I'm just
Okay.
going to keep enjoying the Black History, month, and keep on supporting even after Black
Well,
History Month.
I know that we on uh, the African American TV network. I understand that, and I'm not. This next statement has no slight to them and all because that's our people. But you know, two of y'all said Black history, and Vonda said African American. No, no, I'm sorry. Vonda said Black history. Henry said African American history. Then he came back to Black history, and I just want to understand because I say this every time we talk about Black history. Why do we have to adjust? Anytime you get a surname that makes you like you don't belong. I mean, like if you ask one of your Caucasian counterparts, they'll go, "Oh, I'm American." They don't go, My ancestry is Germany or whatever." And I think we should stop doing that so that we can fall back in the mainstream. And then again, I agree 200% with what y'all was talking about as far as the family. That's what I was going to talk about, and I'm gonna bring it up. Then I'm just going to ask y'all questions.
Can I ask you a question
My
first?
first thing is, hey, huh?
Can I ask you a question first?
Sure.
So, what do you think it should be if it's not African American history or Black history?
Well, I think it should be Black history, and I think we should be called Black. Uh, it's easier to be a color than they're trying to make you anything else. And when you start separating yourself from the herd, I mean, like if there's all cattle out there and they all brown, except for one is spotted, then he stands out. But they're still all cattle, but you go, oh, but the spotted one. And that's how black people, I should say minority people in America that have surnames are being treated. Like like your boy just said when you remember you said it, I see black people. Why do you,
Mhm.
I understand he was trying to be funny, which was very dry and very wrong. But the point I'm trying to say is that we should be called bl- black because our ancestry is African. We're not African Americans. African Americans, for all of us who don't know, and I pulled up Chooks and Sunday, I put them in it. Chooks and Sunday are African Americans. They were born in Africa and they came over here. So they're African American. We are here just like everybody else was born here and are here. was already here. We are Americans. Jesse Jackson had no right changing that. That you're correct there. Jesse Jackson had no right in changing that because all it did was set us aside from the mainstream. We had did so much before this African American came out. We was doing so much moving forward, and then it kind of like slid us back because before, when you let's just be honest, you get in the heated conversation, and the first thing somebody do will call you out your name. They call you the N word to try to get you to overexert yourself. But we won't go there. We'll go someplace else.
But hey,
So
Terry, there's
Let's,
one question.
let's
There's
talk.
one question that says,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
why do we allow them to call us African Americans when just we're just Americans? Africans don't accept us unless you're born there. We're called African. Now, this is just my perspective. We're called
Mhm.
African Americans because our ancestors came from Africa. Um, in the most part, that's why we're called African Americans. Granted, I
Okay.
think I was born in America, so I'm just an American with a heavy pigmented or melon pigmentation in my body or melanin in my body
Mhm.
that makes me darker than anybody else. Everything derives from color. Everything derives from black. You can get black, brown, blue, red, whatever, but you can't get nothing but white from white. You know what I'm saying?
That
So,
is true.
but
And
anyway, that's my
Yeah.
take on that. And to answer that person's
Well,
question.
I think I think that's the reason why. So white people should be called European Americans. I call white people
yeah.
European Americans. There's not any disrespect to them. I don't know their heritage. Like if you ask me where I was from, well, not me actually, but my great grand ancestors was from, it'd be a toss up. I could be either
Hmm.
Zulu or Swahili because they you don't know which parent came from which great grandparent came from which tribe. So that's hard to do. But I'm trying to say, so Henry, you trying to say you accept it? Henry, go ahead and answer that before I continue.
So they're telling me I accept what? Being called African American?
Being called African American.
I do accept that. I do accept that. You look at the name Pilcher. Pilcher is a German name. So when I looked at the
Mm-hmm.
heritage of that, it derived from Germany. So some of my
That's correct.
ancestors were Germans. So I I'm not German American. I'm an American. I'm an American.
Well,
I do
you
not.
could be German American if your ancestors was born in Germany and came over here.
But who knows that I don't have ancestors from that was born in Africa as well?
That is true. I'm not
Right.
saying that we shouldn't be proud of our heritage, and I'm saying the same thing to our European counterparts. They should be proud of what they come from, because when you get in a conversation like this with one of them, and it doesn't turn heated or an argument, they'll always come with, "Oh, I'm from Germany. My ancestors from England. My ancestors from here. My ancestors from that." And I agree with that. What I'm saying is, we're setting ourselves apart as part of the as America. Prime example. I think we talked about this for the Super Bowl last week when they were singing the. It's been a lot of chatter on the internet about the African American uh, national anthem,
Lift every voice.
and
Hmm.
yeah, and the people were, the European people was like, well, they if they're American, they don't need an African. See, so now you get yourself on both sides. Now, I agree with the reason why we have one, and the gentleman on there gave a real honest gut rolling fact check. He said the reason why when the Constitution was signed and written and the song came out, we were not Americans. We were still property. Then, if you know anything about it, in the second verse of that, it's talking about killing black folks. Now they don't ever bring that up, but that's what it is. And I just believe we don't need labels. It's bad enough when you go to another country now and you're called American. They just think that you trash. When I was a kid going to cross country, or in Europe, it was great because they thought we were powerful. But all it does now is divide us. And I think that's part of the media. I think that's part of people. I'll be honest, like Jesse Jackson, who wants some kind of recognition. I think he changed it. because I said it before, and I'm sure everybody here was. Oh, hold on a second. Give us a commercial there, real quick. We got 15 minutes. I'm sorry, I was running my mouth.
Big dog picks. Let's get it. Match up for the week. Here's the scoop. Your boy Drone keep getting the loot. Underdog, who will prevail? Stay tuned. Drone about to tell.
Well, what do y'all think we should be called? I'm just gonna keep doing. What do you think we should be called? Anyone?
Well, I don't want to dominate the conversation. I'm gonna let the ladies talk, but I do want to address the one
Okay.
person out there in radio land, TV land that said they disagree with me, and I applaud you for that, because my brother, my sister, we can disagree without being disagreeable. So please type in, why do you disagree? What your thoughts are, and just so we can elaborate on that. I commend you for that. That is the way we grow, especially as far as me, how I grow and as a person, because conversation ruled the nation, and we got to be able to communicate. But I'm gonna bow down to the ladies and let them take over from here.
Yeah, one of y'all give us your opinion.
I just think we should be called black. I mean, black's a color. I mean, like you said, we weren't raised in Africa, so I wasn't raised in Africa. I know that. So um, I think we should be called black. I mean, that's fine
I
with me.
agree.
Black Americans.
I
Well,
agree.
let me say this
I
in
agree.
regard to Miss Denise, and I'll answer the callers or the person out there in TV Land's question as well. She said we think we ought to be black. Black is a color. Okay.
I
Uh,
did say
That's
black
what
was a
we hear.
color. I said that.
let me
She did
speak.
say that.
Let me speak.
Lord.
Black is a color. Okay. Uh, African American is a race, is a nation, is a people. Okay, we have that to fall back upon. Black, so what about orange people? What about red people? Should they be called red? You know what I'm saying?
There's no such thing as that.
What do you think they call
Well,
Indians? What do you think they call Indians? They call them Redskins.
okay, that
So
was
should they be
racist,
Well,
called
though. They
they
should
do
red?
never
that.
call them Redskins. They should be
Right.
called indigenous people.
But they're not.
Because if you know anything about
Right.
our own history says that when America was founded, the West Indies people was already here.
Correct.
That's where the word Indian came from.
Right.
The West Indies was already here.
So
Curlin's watching. Hey,
how did
Curlin,
the
her
name
and
Redskin
Laura's
come
watching.
about? How did the name Redskin come about?
That's a racist. That's a racist term. That's why they got rid of
Mm-hmm.
the Washington Redskins and the
Right.
Cleveland Indians and
Right.
so forth and all that because it was racist. So,
Mm-hmm.
and
Somebody says, what
Vonda,
was that?
before
Denise,
if
I'm
an
okay.
Indian
Indian
What
was
was
was that?
born.
born
No, somebody said
on
some my
this
name
soil,
somewhere.
yeah, they said
Denise,
it.
I'm okay with being called a black
Denise, I'm okay with
American.
being called a black. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's how I see it. Vonda, you want to say something before we go to it? I'll give my thing to give another reply out.
Um, I see somebody said black American. That's fine. I'm like Henry. I do accept both. I guess just because mainstream is saying African American these days, but um, um, I'm good with black. I'm really, really good with black. And the only reason that I accepted the African American is because, like I said, mainstream changed it, and
Mainstream.
um, yeah, and in the workplace, they, refer to us as African Americans instead of black. I don't know if they think that's kind of maybe more leaning toward racist, or or they think that we prefer to be called African Americans. But I'm good with both. But I do love black. I do love Black American.
Someone said being
Um,
labeled African American has always been told, go back to your country when you know this
Mm-hmm.
isn't your country. And I agree.
That's true.
I agree that if we all had a label, I'll feel okay. But if you notice, the only people that have labels are non-European Americans. They call you Chinese, Japanese, all these. What's up? My
Mm.
sister's watching. What's up, Alan? They call you all these different names, and then when something goes, they can slam you on it. That's the problem. I'm not saying that it's not a good thing to be called where you from, but they know where they're from. They'll tell you right away. My ancestry, my parents are Irish. My great grandparents came from Ireland. No, this or that. They don't call themselves Irish Americans. So why should don't
Right.
set yourself difference? Because when you set yourself out to be different, my hat's crooked. It makes you a target for any type of racism, i.e., I see black people. So that's why I think we should be called black people. Because as I think it was Denise said, we're all colored. We're all colored. You said it earlier, Henry. We're all colored. And we all have colors in us, even if they're red and whatever that or whatever that. Somebody said, look at the way if you live in your household as the Johnsons, and then later you was told you were Jones. Makes sense. Makes sense. And like I say all the time, and that's what I started to say before we go to the next topic. When we were young and born, us here, maybe not some of the viewers, but us here, we were all born Negro because back then European Americans didn't understand Spanish. It's negra, and that's black in Spanish. So
Mhm.
then we became colored. Then as we go on, progress, and here we are now. So I think every time you don't know your identity is changed, you lose something in the battle of being equal. Man, with that, I'm if y'all got no more comment on that, I'm let that go.
Hey,
And let's go.
one
Somebody said
thing I do
exactly,
have one
Terry.
comment too, Terry, about the person that said if your name is Jones, go back home or whatever to Johnson or whatever it was.
And go back to the Joneses'
Go back to
home.
the Joneses home.
Hell,
But
that was
but
my
but what
home.
if your name was Kunta Kinte and they beat you and told you your name was Jones? You see what I'm saying?
I
What
was
you gonna
So
do,
now
right?
where you gonna go now, my brother
What
or
you
my
gonna
sister that made that comment?
well, Kunta was we're not going that far back. Kunta was from
No.
Africa, so Kunta's
Yeah.
name was Kunta. They was calling you. I got to holler out to my boy
Irrelevant.
George.
Somebody
George
said
from
irrelevant,
Vegas.
my
He
That
said
brother
ain't
George.
Henry.
irrelevant. That's
Irrelevant.
facts.
They said it was irrelevant.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were talking earlier about uh, this generation behind us, and I think that's where the history has been lost in the generation behind us. And I say that to say this, and then y'all can comment. As a mature adult, I'm not saying they're not mature. I should say seasoned because we're older. We lived a little bit of history, and we learned history in high school and in college. These kids today, and I'm saying for sure, maybe in the early 40s, maybe as high as 45, don't understand the plight that the black people have made to get to where we're at. You know, I'm sure everybody here has some kind of story to tell. I think the problem with black people when Henry said something is that hell, we're probably hell, pretty soon we'll all be them.
Hell,
That's
pretty
true.
soon we'll see them.
It'll be one color because as long as the race is mixed, that's what's going to happen. But the thing I want to say is before I go any farther, the question I got is for you. We was talking about Henry said something earlier I want to touch on how we do not make uh, our community strong. We spend our dollars outside our community. I'm sure everybody here, when you lived on a certain street, doesn't matter if you was in the hood or you was in urban America, wherever you were at. If you was on that street, the people on that street made sure we didn't. They wasn't Karens then. They were parents because if you got in trouble, you got your butt whooped there, and you got your butt whooped and went home. So it wasn't like, Miss Pilcher was a bad lady. We never called Miss Pilcher out of her name because Miss Pilcher smacked the crap out your mouth and then
Fact.
call your mama when you got the crap smacked out your mouth when you got home again. These kids now
Big
they
fact.
call you the B word or anything. They, the biggest respect I get from is OG. And I say thank you because I am old and I was a G back in the day. Maybe not like Henry, but I could hold my own.
Well, they
But
call
the,
me
the point I'm
triple
trying to
OG.
say, the point I'm trying to, my question to y'all is, when you look back to the young people, what would you say to them about their blackness? And it's not nothing against people's whiteness or redness or all that. I don't want to go into this because I can only say black. The rest of the Americans, I don't want to try to single anybody out like I'm trying to be racist and I'm not. What do you think we should send back to them about where they come from? Because all I can see is my friend got a new pair of Jordans. I ain't got none. And I look at them, I go, well, maybe your friends only got one kid, or they both parents work, or they both making $100,000, $50,000, whatever they making. But that's what they try to do. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm gonna read this one. What do y'all think about that?
Well, I'm gonna say
Ooh,
this
somebody
real
got
quick.
nasty.
I'm gonna say this real quick, and
Somebody
then
got
I'm gonna be
nasty,
quiet.
Henry.
Huh?
Somebody
Yeah,
got
somebody
nasty. You
said,
see that comment?
What?
what
It's,
would it be okay if someone changed the name of your fraternity?
They did. They did. That's why it's called KSI Phi Nu Pi. Frat's so nice we had to name it twice. So understand your history, my brother, when you want to talk to KSI about me. Back up, stand back 50 feet. But
yes, my sister. There's no respect from the young kids. Go ahead, Henry.
but, but what I would say, man, about young kids today too, man, I try to hit them at from a perspective that they will understand. Okay, most just say a person that's got a decent job, making good money. First thing he gonna go out and do is go out and buy him a Mercedes or BMW or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so he did that, but he living at home with mom. He got the Mercedes and the BMW in the driveway or in the front yard of his mama's house. If you're gonna do a Mercedes or a BMW, make sure it's got a garage to put it in. You know what I'm saying? So do that first, but also look at your future. Square your future away. Start putting money away while you're working hard now. So at some point, your money will work for you. And all you got to do is sit back and reap the rewards. That's what I would try to teach these young men now so that they can have something to instill in their children. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be a better society, my brother.
Yeah, that's true.
Comment.
What's up, Ken?
It was
Go
changed.
ahead. Go
It
ahead.
was
I'm just gonna
changed
holler
in
out
a
in Lord.
positive.
What's up?
It was it was changed in a positive and reasonable way, not in a racing us kind of way. You feel me, brother?
I do, my brother,
Well,
or
it was
sister, or
changed from
who.
Kappa Alpha Nu. Hold
Yeah,
on, I got this one for you, Henry. It was called
what?
Kappa Alpha Nu, and they was calling us nigga, and that's why they changed it to something to Kappa Alpha Psi. And that's just because back when in 1911, we wasn't as comfortable as you are going now. What's up, man? I'm glad to see you, Ken. It's not that we wasn't as comfortable in our skin now. We was, but we were scared and we were segregated. Still, some of the things that still happen today, but it's not. Back then, it was more frequently.
Right.
So yes, brother, that's what it is.
Exactly.
Vonda, come on, hit us with some. What do you think's wrong with this generation? I don't think it's wrong, but they're not. They don't. They don't. I don't want to say it's wrong. I want to say, what do you think would have helped them be more accomplished? Because everything Denise said and everything that Henry said so far, I agree with.
You're on mute,
You're
Denise.
on
I
mute.
mean, Vonda. You're on mute, Vonda.
I'm gonna read her
I'm
lips. It
sorry.
says
I see.
Terry.
Oh, on my keyboard, I was. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Uh, no, they're not. They're not being taught because you have really, in a sense, they say babies raising babies, and so, um, it hasn't been instilled in the parents. It's for this generation, a lot of them, and so they don't know because they weren't taught. And so, how can you pass something down um to your children if you don't know? And so that's I think that's where like Henry said, the older ones like we are, that's where we come in. We try, we can make a better effort in trying to engage our community and engage our kids in learning more about where they come from and the greatness of our ancestors. But like you said, it's essentially it starts at home.
Exactly.
That is
Hey
true.
Terry,
Now,
let
before
me
we go to
let
the
I'm a
me
break, I
let
white.
want to
me
read.
Somebody said I'm a
let,
white woman
Okay, go ahead,
married to a
Denise.
black man, and my kids are Americans. I would never allow them to be called African American.
Terry,
And I
let
agree
me
with it.
address that right quick. For that young lady that
Okay.
said that she's a white woman and she's married to a black man, I'm gonna try. I'll come back after the commercial because I want to address what
Hit us a
she's saying.
commercial.
Okay.
Go ahead, produce. Hit the commercial.
Hey, see, San Antonio got the best sandwiches.
Let me ask you, do you know who you are, sir?
Yo, I'm coming down to San Antonio to see if they got the best sandwiches.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna take you to a few spots. You let me know what you think, okay?
Yo, what's up? This bruh man from the fifth floor. And look at here. I'm searching for the perfect sandwich. So I want y'all to register at www.theafricanamericannetwork.com to join my sandwich community. It's gonna be all that. And look at here. Want y'all to invite me to your city if you think you got the perfect sandwich. And I ain't talking about no served sandwiches either. Peace.
That dude is wild, man. That dude is wild. So let
That
me
search
let me
sandwich you
go ahead and
always get.
address this young lady right quick. That said that she's a white lady married to a black man, and they have children that she will not allow them to be called African American children. There's a young man that was pledging Terry and I's fraternity, who happens to be European American. And I told him, and I think I told this story before. I told, your name is Opie. Okay, your name is Opie. He says, why? Why do you? Why? And I asked him, why is your name Opie? He said, because I'm white. I said, no, 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 no. I told him to go hold up a piece of typing paper, tell me what color that is. He said, that's white. I said, are you that color? No, I'm not. Okay, so then I said, hold up a black sock. Am I that color? No, I'm not. So to that young lady, granted, you're American, absolutely, and your husband is American, and your children are Americans. True that, but they have a black heritage and they have a European American heritage that they should be both proud of and know about their heritage. So I wouldn't let them just say I'm African American, even though society says if you have 1 ounce of black blood in your body, you're black.
Not no more.
Okay, well,
Not no
Terry
more,
says
Henry.
no more. So, but
Because
and
if
I'm
your
old,
mother's
so
white,
and I'm old,
when
so
your
but there
mother's
it is.
white,
Yeah. So,
it's
but
the it's the race
that's
of
what
the mother. So
it's
if the
the race of
mother's
the mother.
white or Mexican or something else, that's what that child is. They changed that. You were right back in the day when we were kids. If
They
you had a
changed
tint
that.
of blood
Yeah,
in
who is they?
you, it did change because the
I got
reason.
you.
Okay, let's get
I
off
got
this for a minute. The reason why they're changing everything is because the population, the European American population, is being
you.
overtaken, and it's not,
True.
and it's pretty soon they're going to be the minority. So they had to change the rules. That's all I can say. They change. So if the mother's white or whatever the race of the mother is, that is the color that what the child is identified as.
Facts.
Uh, so they don't use the word because now, from my understanding, and I apologize for saying it. If you're mixed, that used to be a phrase you could say. Now you can't say that because it's wrong.
But
Carolyn said society will call you the way what they see you as, and that's 100% Carolyn. I agree with you. Miss Carter, there's nothing that anybody can change that. And that's the bad thing. Ken said this is the big Q on the thing. The generations need to seek knowledge from many of our older folks as possible, especially. Hold on, I gotta click it to go see more. The ones that are living and then left and down in the deep south. That's why they are taught hard because they live it. We lost too much of the bridge, and that's correct. We don't sit down and talk to our kids like our grandparents talk to us and so forth. So I agree with Ken and I agree with Carolyn and I agree with you guys. And then Vonda's watching. Hi, Vonda. Anyway.
but Terry also, you can take a child at birth. You can take a white baby, and I'm gonna say white, I'm gonna say black, and lay them in a crib next to each other. All those two babies are gonna do is cry, sleep, boo boo, and laugh and play. Okay, but then when they grow up, for some mythical reason, they can't live together because one's pigmentation is lighter than the others. But when they die, you can bury them side by side, and you just got two dead, a black one dead and a white one dead, so beside each other. So why can't we live together and be at peace with each other when we're at that in between state? That's what I'm saying.
You know why, Henry? Because back in the day when slavery was going on, everybody sucked Big Nana's titties. Black, white, babies on that titty. So I don't know why it is the way it is. I do know why it is the way it is. We're not talking about races. We're talking about black people growing up. And I just think that, the big thing is you have to be taught the history, you know. And as a grandparent now, I started yesterday because I was thinking about this. Since I got my grandkids here, I talked to my oldest grandson and I did a little bit to him about, you know, being called what where you came from and all that, and how to deal with society. Because society, unfortunately, not all white people are racist. Let's understand it before I say that. And not all Mexicans and not everybody's racist. We do have racist black people. I don't understand how they can be racist, but they are. But
You got racist black people
they
against black people, my guy.
that's
Right.
what's that dude in South Carolina? Tim Scott?
Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's him.
He loves Donald.
We have a thing that said,
Well,
did you guys check Donald's?
Yeah, that's
Did
what we
you
were
guys
talking
check
about
Comment.
earlier.
Donald's comments this past weekend about only seeing one color?
Yeah, that's what we talked about earlier, where you see
yeah, we
black
talked about
people.
earlier, yeah, because he only saw black because the
He only
lights
saw
was too
black.
bright.
Right. The lights are bright.
And someone said this subject takes me back to the sad moments signs saying whites only.
Correct.
Yeah. Mhm.
But and that just shows you how stupid they were back then. You have a water fountain right here, and you have another water fountain right next to it. This water fountain says whites only, and this one says colors. But the water line goes to
It's
both fountains.
connected both of
You
them.
see what I'm saying?
I
That just
think
shows
they
how
was more
stupid they
worried
were.
about who lips was on it. I think they
Yeah.
were. Uh,
Yeah, that's
I,
what it
They're
was.
all drinking the same
that the
water.
lips was on it. I
Yeah.
just look at it like this. You know, the way I grew up, and I'm pretty sure I've seen everybody in Clarksville, so I can say at least I know y'all college life, how y'all grew up, is that it's race is not a big deal to us. You know, so why should we always change ours to accommodate somebody else? That's shows your weakness when you have to change your race. I pick on Vonda because she's always so beautiful. Vonda comes out and I say, Vonda, I don't like your hair and I don't like your dress. I think it looks funny. Vonda may go
Well,
back and change. I'm just using it for an example.
no, I'm
Vonda
just
may
kidding.
be offended and go back and change, or may be angry, but still go change because she's trying to conform. I don't want to conform. I don't want to conform. I want to be black, and I want my people to be black. That's nothing to do with anybody else. It's because it's defined, and that's what it is. Lord, my sister said Donald's crazy. Donald is crazy. Donald is crazy. But one thing y'all need to understand about Donald, he's gonna, if he gets to become president for the next 4 years, he's gonna try to find some way to stay in there longer than 4 years. That's his whole goal. And they're talking about taking back over, and that's it. T Rex, the word in the bond is just being black. That is true. That is true. That's all it is.
Can I share
I think
something
that
I
that's,
saw on? Oh, go
go
ahead. I'm
ahead. Go
sorry.
ahead, Vonda.
I wanted to
No.
share something I saw on TV. It was disturbing. It was the news was out there, and I can't remember exactly where it was, but it was somewhere in the United States. That this black guy was talking about how he was for Trump, and he had this T-shirt on, and he said the T-shirt said the N word for Trump, and I thought that was the most insane thing. Why would you degrade yourself?
Charleston White is a complete idiot.
Is that who that was?
Charleston White is a complete idiot. Okay, you know,
Okay. Can I say
Charleston
something?
Charleston is a
First of
very
all,
educated young man. Charleston is a very educated young man, very smart. From before Charleston made this switch, he was an activist. I mean, talking against all kinds of stuff, but he couldn't make no money doing that. So now he's acting a fool and getting paid grand theft money for it. Somebody said, "Can we focus on voting?" Too many Black Americans died fighting for us the right to vote. That is absolutely so true. And I say that
that
a
is
lot
right.
of Black people say, "Well, I'm not going to get out and vote because it ain't gonna make a difference. It ain't gonna make no difference in my vote." The popular vote has a lot to say because that tells what the people want. So absolutely, we should get out and vote because that is our right to do. Because, like you said, people died for our right to vote. And we got to exercise that right because if we don't, man, who knows? One day it could be taken away from you again. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is put shit in a book, and we
The
don't
young
read it.
community don't see that.
And we don't read it.
The young community don't see that. They don't see that. Denise,
Somebody
somebody want to
asked
know
me.
you why you so quiet.
Yeah, that's what I was just
I'm
gonna
good.
say.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Well, Denise said, I don't talk. Denise said, I've been black my whole life. I don't have to. I know history.
I mean, it's just the same thing over and
Anyway,
over. I mean,
Somebody, Vincent
it is.
said it's the people's
Every
choice.
year we talk about the same things. We give accolades. There's nothing wrong to giving accolades to the black people behind that paved the way for us today. Okay. But I'm not worried about the black people that came before us because they already did what they're gonna do. 5 minutes from we are 5 minutes from slavery. That is true. Especially if Trump's and his cronies. That's why they talk about, if you listen to the message that Trump is sending, and I hope y'all can comment on this, when he's talking about make America great, and then all of a sudden now it's the real Christian people. You have to really think back in the day. That's the people that was burning witches and making sure black people were slaves. That was those people. You know, I say this in out. Henry can back me up. We have Bible study. I'm always asking questions about why. And my biggest question on everything about the Bible is why do we believe what a white man said that happened? Just like they want you to believe that the history that's being erased is not really relevant, but it is. It's just like they say when you go to the courthouse and they tell you got to do this, you got to do it, but they never tell you why. They just want you to do it, and we conform. We conform too much. What's up, Renee? I'm glad you're watching. So I get it. I really get it, but I think you know it's crazy. But since the lady brought it up, let's talk about some lively stuff since we only got 15 minutes left. What should you call a baby that is I'm men should be proud to be black. Women should be proud to be black too. I agree. Everybody should be proud. You're not just black. You should be proud to be white. And I'm not gonna say colors for this for Asians and Mexicans and and Native Americans. You should be proud of who you are and your heritage. You don't always have to wear it on your chest. You don't always have to speak it out loud. People can look at you and know, and that's the truth.
Commercial.
People. I thought we did. Is it a commercial already? Go ahead, give us a commercial. Commercial.
Terry.
I've just fallen asleep waiting on the commercial. I give a commercial. Hey, thanks for tuning in to TAN TV, the African American Network. We have a local feel with a global reach. You're watching Out of Bounds with myself, T Rex, Vonda, Denise, and Big Bank at the bottom, Henry. All right, here we go. So now we got Vincent on, and Vincent is saying every group of people are black, period. Okay. Vincent always say Trump's wants to be a dictator, which you're correct on that one also. And it says exactly this is the people's choice. 100. Now, I'm sure he was commenting about something that we said, but at 65, it's kind of hard to remember. So, so
Hey, Terry,
my
I'm
question.
gonna say this real quick, man.
Go ahead.
In regard to your question earlier, you know what I'm saying? Um, mental slavery is a submittal tactic used to keep Africans in America in psychological chains for generations. In
Mm-hmm.
1712, Willie Lynch prophesied this method of control that would push inferior mentalities onto enslaved and eliminate the strength in numbers that united to provide it to Africans in America. And that's what he did. He said, man, if you do what I'm telling you to do, you can make a slave for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. It's the Willie Lynch theory, man.
That's it.
And we submit to that today. You know, Carter G. Woodson said it best. You can tell a person not to go to the back door. You ain't got to go to the back door no more. You can go to the front door. But not only will you go to the back door, if there's no back door back there, you'll cut one in and go in the back because of that mentality is set. And until we break those chains, brother, you know, it's a hard deal to deal with, my brother.
Well, I'm going to say this, then we'll back to the ladies real quick. Renee
He
said, I'm
tells me to
proud
shut
of
up.
my roots. My mother installed them in me. And I agree. You should be talked about. What's up, Herb? What's up, Herb English? Nope, nope. What's up? All I so to the ladies, not I'm having y'all answer not for yourself, but for the population of women, since we can't get all of them in it. Any ladies within earshot can answer this question. If you dated a man from a different race, would you be offended if your parents or your one of your relatives called him a different name? Not what I mean by name, I'm not talking about his name is Bob, but you call him Robert. I'm talking race wise. They called him a racial slur.
What?
Denise, Vonda.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, I would. I would be offended. Yes,
I
because
would as well.
yeah, you shouldn't be calling. You know, if we don't want to be called the N word, then you shouldn't be calling nobody else out of their. And
That
especially
is true.
especially
That
if
is
it's a
true.
husband of
And
mine.
I think that
And plus they're in the family now. So why would you do a family member like that? They're in the, I mean, once you marry them, they're in, they're considered uh family family as well.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. The reason why I asked that question is because as I as I go out to the gym, that's my normal routine. I start seeing more interracial couples. They don't call them interracial no more. They just call them couples. Dude, don't say, hey, back in the day, say, this is my girlfriend. Yeah, I know she's white. This is my girlfriend. I know she's, Latino or whatever. I just think that nowadays, just there, they go my girl. And that's it. I don't care. And like I said last week, the N word with the ER has no power anymore. The, the young white people out here in California call themselves wiggers. They because they listen to the same music, they dress the same, they act the same. It's a culture. That's a culture. So they has accepted the culture. And as we all know, some of our friends from a different culture tolerate our music, or they we tolerate their music, but we still get along. I think the problem is, and I want Henry you to tell me, why can't we find a common ground in America?
Man, that's a good question, Terry. That is a very good question. Um, I don't know, man. That is something that we got to find a common ground where we can all just be as one, man. I don't know. That's bigger than me, my brother. That's a very good question. Maybe somebody out there in radio TV land can ask you that. But I know you said the
Yeah.
N word, if it's a ER or GR or whatever, you can't use it with an ER, AR, XYZ with me because it's gonna be some difficulties because I was born in the '60s and I come up when it wasn't a very nice word. I don't use it. I try not to use it. Now, when I get around my people and I had one or two shots of Jack Daniels and Bud Lights, I may say a little something, something when I'm with the folks. But uh, man, no, you can't do that. But no, I don't know why we can't find a common ground because maybe because we're feared. You know what I'm saying? Maybe because we're feared. You know, the black woman on the job, the black man on the job. Maybe it's a fear factor, man. I don't know, my brother.
Somebody says
I
my
don't know if it's
grandbabies
fear.
are half white, but look more white than black, and my daughter is always
Mhm.
mistaken as the nanny, and usually a nanny from Nigeria when she's American.
Oh,
Oh,
gotta
Jimmy
be
Dukes is
offensive.
watching. What's up, Jimmy?
It's gotta be
Well,
very offensive.
it is offending. I think common ground is simple. Common ground is simple, and I'm gonna solve the world problem right now. If America had better jobs, not just above the Mason Dixon, because if you look at Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, parts of Georgia, though, oh, hold on, Kentucky, Tennessee, West Virginia, Virginia, North and South Carolina, and Oklahoma. If you look at those states, poverty is high in white people. And I'm saying that to get to a point. It's because there's more white people. But when you listen to the people in politics, they want you to believe it's not. But I want everybody out there to understand there would not be any social services if it was only minorities receiving them. Don't ever think that. Don't ever get that twisted. So back in the first war when the red tails was flying, you seen the movie how they walked in the bar and they called them the N word, and then they behind it changed. I think and I believe if everybody that didn't have a good job had a good job. What I mean by a job is if everybody was in America was making over $50,000 a year, living where they're living, nothing changed. Not the price of gas, not the price of food. Just because you got a pay raise, your money can go farther. I don't think everybody be angry. I think people are angry, and I think poor white people are angry. You don't see most of our friends are middle class white people. I'm just going to be honest. They ain't got time to worry about your butt. They too busy trying to make their money. The rich white people, the only ones they worried about is Michael Jordan. They ain't worried about Tiger Woods. They ain't worried about us. But you never hear them call them the N word. You never hear them call them the N word. Have you ever noticed that? None of them ever called them the N word. Even all that crap that Michael Jordan went through, all that crap that Tiger Woods went through, they never called him the N word. You know why? Because they got the green word. And that's the problem in America. If you want to stop racism, stop sending your money. I'm not saying we got to stop helping countries, but that money that you're sending over should be building jobs. A black lady in Chicago, I said that city wrong, but I'm sorry. Uh,
But
She was at the thing. Hold on, we're gonna go a little bit over if we can. Check that out, producer. See if we can go a little bit over. She was saying that we send all this money overseas. We give all these money to the people that come here, illegal or not. We give them all these credit cards, food stamps, and all that. We still have hungry people. We still have people that's homeless. So can we go a little farther than 5 minutes? That's what I was asking. So that's what I was trying to get out. That if we took care of us first, I would agree that. And even though I don't vote Republican, if Nikki Haley won, I wouldn't be upset because I know she's a woman, and I've been saying it for a long time. Women will take care of home first. If you took care of home, if you took care of America, it would be one America. It wouldn't be people why they got a black national anthem because they would probably play both of them or get a new remix or whatever. I don't care. But if people are hungry and they see the guy, as Henry said, black guy driving a BMW and they in the pickup truck and they struggling, damn right they're gonna be hateful. You know why I say that? Because we got black people that hate on us if we're doing better. Because like we was born with a silver spoon in our mouth. No, we had to work to get our stuff. But that's how it is because the world today is material, and that's it.
Terry, all we got to do, my man, is take the cap off Social Security, where the taxes, where take that off, man, you would end poverty. You know what I'm saying, dude? Where you take the cap off and everybody be responsible, Brian. But it's to me, it's a simple fix, man. But maybe in my feeble mind, maybe it's not like that. Maybe it's not as easy to do like that, man. But you take the
It
cap
is
off
easy
and
to
you
fix it.
say what?
They don't want to fix it. They don't
Right,
want to fix it.
right,
Right.
Why do you think there's so much division in America? White, black, white against whoever, is because the majority of the poor people are white.
right,
I'm not saying all white people are poor. I'm saying,
right,
but the majority of poor people are white, just
right,
by sheer numbers.
right,
If we can make that number for all poor people, including myself, shrink, then it'll be a better world.
right,
How many people fuss when they got a full belly of food? Nobody.
right,
You ain't got
right,
something you see. That's what's wrong with this world now. You said it, shut up. That the young people are too materialistic, still having two cars, nice BMW and a Mercedes, still living at mom and daddy house. What did he's from Oakland. I can't think of his name, but he's a rapper. It'll come out in a minute. And he said, don't buy $85,000 car before you got a house. We can go over 5 more minutes. Okay, thank you. So that's all I wanted to say. So
I'm good. I'm
too short.
good.
He said in his song, don't buy $85,000 car if you don't have a house, and we do. All because from some bizarre reason this world is materialistic, and you know what's bad. Then I'm gonna shut up and give to y'all so we can get our closing remarks. This old white lady said, and she said, "Why do black people spend all their money on trying to look rich when rich people save all their money and try to look ordinary or poor?" That makes a lot of sense. Okay, here's one. Maybe we are living in
Somebody says
apartments. Go ahead. Somebody read that. 'Cause I started, but somebody can read it.
maybe we like living in apartments and the houses are ridiculous for young families now.
No, I agree with
Yeah,
that.
it's
I agree with that. They are.
yeah,
There's nothing
and a
wrong
lot
living
of
in an
and a lot
apartment.
yeah, a lot of people and they're really nice these days, like they said. And it's just I guess it's just so hard these days to go through the process of getting a home. And I think it's trending now for like townhomes and um
Yeah.
condos, things like that. I know in the city, I know in this Atlanta area, I know that's um really
When I
trendy right
said
now. They're
home, I was
building them everywhere.
right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Vonda. I didn't when I say house, I didn't mean like a house. It could be a condo. It could be an apartment.
Yeah.
You can own an apartment and a condo. I agree. But what I was talking about is spending your money. Like you work at. Let's just be for real. I work at Target, and I've been saving up to get me a Louis Vuitton bag. That's okay, as long as you're still paying your bills and you're saving up. But when you go out there and throw that on a credit card, that's wrong. And I'm glad. Hey, and there's nothing wrong with living in an apartment with a doorman. Ask them if they need somebody part time. I need a job. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking people down. I'm not knocking. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong if you're successful. I'm not saying it's wrong if you're not successful. Too Short said, before you buy $85,000 house, a car, buy a house. That's all he said. He was pimping game on own something instead of rent something. Minority Americas, we wear our wealth instead of invest our wealth. That's what I'm saying. Until we can break that, that's it. And nobody should tell you how to spend your money. I agree. I'm not telling you how you spend your money. I'm not arguing with you. If that's your life, that's your life. I'm just saying, if you're making that kind of money, you should be able to drive a $60,000 car. And I'm pretty sure your rent ain't $800-900 either in a nice apartment with a doorman. So that is you can call that an apartment, but you need to put luxury in front of that if you got it. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong in downtown Atlanta in one of those skyrise condo apartments down there. And what's that expensive part they got down there? Where's
Buckhead,
Vonda?
Buckhead.
Buckhead.
Yeah, Buckhead. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying back in the day, your parents told you to buy a house. My kids don't want to own homes because they say it's too much work. So I agree with you. I agree with
I
you.
just think that I
So
just want to hit on something. I just think right quick. I just think that people people need to get their priorities right. You know, if you got your priorities in check and you're doing like you said, Terry, and you can do that. But I think people just need to get prioritize what they need to do. Get your priorities right first.
that's it. Before we go, Carolyn said, I think we can't find common ground because some coloners are scared. Then they feel
Mm.
that the field is equal for black people will excel. People of color will excel. My sister Ellen said, every one of them they'll say the N word. They do. Everybody says the N word. And Carolyn, you're 100% correct. That I don't know if they're afraid. I think they get offended because if you notice, below the Mason Dixon line is where you have most of your outright racism. I'm not saying it's not racism above the Dixie line, but you have it below, and that's where you have the problems. That's where you have the problems down there deep south, down there in Tupelo, Mississippi, and places like that. So, with that being said, we got 2 minutes. Everybody, start with Vonda. Give everybody a shout out, Vonda.
Shout out to everybody that watching on my page. I think I was having a bit of a problem, but I see some folks on a couple of people on mine, Danielle and
Mhm.
Wilbur. Thank you all, and Sandra. Thank you all for watching, and we hope you enjoyed the show, and we hope that you continue to support us.
Denise.
I just wanted to say thank everyone for watching tonight. I hope you enjoyed the program. Continue to follow us and have a blessed week and continue to attend any of Black February month programs, Black History Month programs that are going to close out this week.
Mhm.
Well, Terry,
Big
I'm gonna
bang.
say it like this, man. I'm out there a little bit. Vonda saying, "Dang, what he gonna say?" I'm just gonna end it like this: Tan African American Network. Facts. Not
There
Black
you go.
Network,
With
but
that being
African
said,
American Network.
peace out, everybody. We out. See you next week. We still gonna close it out. Well, next week I think we got one more. No, we're done with Black History. We'll do something else
Yeah.
next week. We'll talk about some juicy stuff. I almost said shit, but it's juicy stuff. All right. Peace. All right, producer, get us out of here. We
Bye.
are 5 minutes.
Bye. Have a great